Oh, yeah. It's a chill vibe.
Yep.
You know? It's a nice day.
I dig it.
All right, here we go. We are in the house. What's up, people? Attaboy here. You are watching Dreams to Reality podcast. This is episode 36 on a beautiful Saturday morning in the city of Chino Hills. We are at the Weir Real Estate headquarters here, or one of their locations. I'm super excited for my guest. He is the founder, CEO, the main broker of Weir Real Estate. He's also the founder and owner of Momentum Mortgage, Exclusive Escrow, and WLL Investments. He is a mentor to hundreds, if not thousands, out there. And he's actually a really, really wise guy that I'm excited to hear his journey. Please help me welcome the great Wally Elsherif. Welcome, brother. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, actually, thank you. You're welcome me to your house. How's your morning going, man?
It's going great. Can't complain. I'm up.
Yeah.
I'm alive. I worked out.
That's good. I mean, I guess you could always complain, but it's probably not going to help, right?
Dang it. Not going to do anything.
I was just telling you right before we hit record that, you know, it sucks getting old. You know, my whole body's aching. I woke up this morning feeling like a fucking 80-year-old zombie and shit. My quads were all hurting, and I'm like, damn. I remember getting up like a little whippersnapper and shit. Now I'm like getting up like, I was like, dang. But, you know, it's part of the life, part of the process.
Part of the process. When you're younger, you just get up and move.
Yeah.
When you get older, you got to think about moving.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you again for giving me the time today to come down to your office here and interview you. I know we met, man, it's probably been like 10 years from the first time I met you. I think we were both working at 24 Hour Fitness at the time.
I think it's been longer.
It's probably been longer than 10 years, huh?
I want to say it's been at least 12 to 13 years.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. But along that that timeline, I mean, I've seen you, you know, become extremely successful in your craft and in your field. And you know, I already knew you as a very high caliber sales manager, general manager in the fitness industry. So a lot of people talked about you in high regard. You know, when I was first getting into the fitness industry, I would hear your name all the time. Oh, you know, he taught me this, he taught me that, and I practice a lot of the tactics and skills that you showed your team. And you know, then I got in contact with your brothers, and then that's how I met you. We used to hang out and party in San Diego, and that was fun.
Previous life.
Yeah, it's a previous life. And then, you know, fast forward 10, 12 years later, now you have how many locations do you have?
We have 3 locations currently. On the real estate side, 1 location for mortgage and escrow.
Yeah.
And soon to be another 1 or 2 more locations.
That's crazy. And you said over 100 licensed agents in your firm?
That is correct.
That's freaking awesome, man. So I know that in order to accomplish that, it took a shitload of work, a lot of work, a lot of dedication, and you made a lot of right moves at the right time. You know, so I really wanted to dive deep into your journey because I haven't really talked to you in the past 10 years. You know, we kind of veered different ways, but I've always been in contact with you through social media. You know, it's one of the outlets where you can see what other people are doing. And I'm like, damn, man, this guy's freaking killing it. So tell me a little bit about, you know, what did you used to do before you got into real estate? What led you into this path? And what's the cause of your success?
Perfect. Sounds good. I definitely will. Well, first I'll start off, getting into sales was by accident.
Really?
Oh, I hated sales. Didn't want to be in sales.
Yeah.
It was that all, you know, that stigma, the car salesman,
yeah.
Used car salesman. But the way I got into sales, well, I was playing football.
Okay.
And then I got a membership at 24 Hour Fitness, the old Civ industry off of Gale.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it didn't have like green carpet or some shit?
Green carpet, neon colors. It was just old school. That was back in 2000. I had just graduated high school.
Oh, okay.
So I just gave away my age right now.
Yeah.
But I got a membership. I was working out, met the operations manager. I got to get to know the staff because I was going there quite frequently.
Yeah.
And then they offered me a job, and they actually closed me.
Really?
Yeah.
You got closed.
I got closed. I was going
I
to
don't
school.
believe it, bro.
Oh, they closed me. They closed me. And the way they closed me was, hey, you could come get a free membership.
That's how they get you every time.
Yeah. The free membership.
Yeah.
Well, you could do a receptionist job. And I thought receptionists back then, you know, stigma with the gym is like, it's only females that work the front desk.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I'm
not a female. I'm a football player.
I'm masculine.
Yeah. I'm like, ugh. You puff your chest up, and you're like, there's no way I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And then like, oh, you get to do your homework while you're working, get paid for it, and get a free membership. And I was like,
that sounds pretty damn good.
Pretty good. Okay, I'm here enough, so I might as well.
Yeah.
So I got a job there. I was doing receptionist, and it was honestly fun.
Yeah.
I was just meeting all the members, talking to the I'll keep it PC, but flirting with the staff. And,
the gym environment is really fun, man.
It's extremely fun.
I worked in the gym as well for like 10 years and stuff, and just, I mean, it's a positive place. People are there to get in shape. You know, they care about their physique and how they look and their energy levels and their health. And it's usually a younger crowd that works at a gym, you know, so it was a really fun place to be at.
It was extremely fun. It was fun. Your endorphins, you're working out, you're hanging out. But it was also real high intensity, high sales, high goals, and accountability.
It could be very stressful.
Oh, there's times it's stressful, and you work bell to bell.
Yeah.
But long story short, I was doing receptionist, and I kind of just followed directions. I mean, I've always been a person that followed directions until I got a little bit older.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, this is what you do. Everyone comes in, they need to have a towel. And for me, that was more of selfish reasons because I used to hate having sweat on machines and I have to wipe it down to go work out.
And when you sit down, you're like, oh my God, I got someone sweat on my freaking back.
Exactly. So for me, it was selfish reasons. Like, hey, anyone comes in here, I was a towel Nazi.
Oh, okay.
I was like, anyone who comes in is going to have a towel.
Yeah.
And I would make people take off their shirts and wear their undershirts so they can have a towel. So like, you're not going to buy a towel. And back then it was like $1 for the towel.
Yeah.
And then they would have like some retail contests. And for me, I'm very competitive.
Yeah, that's something that I caught on real quick from you. Like, you're super competitive.
Oh, I'm psychotic.
Yeah.
When it comes to competition and winning.
Yeah.
And so we had one day, it's called Closeout. We had it twice a month.
Yeah, I remember Closeout.
And then one month, I think I broke the company record. That was the first company record I broke. I sold like $1,500 in my shift in retail.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and so like, how the hell?
That's rare. People never sell retail.
None.
You sell like $50 a retail, like, oh my God, good job.
Yeah. We were running out of clothes to sell.
Yeah.
And so then the district manager came in and said, hey, we're going to put you in sales. I'm like, oh, I don't do sales.
Yo, you've been doing sales, bro.
Yeah, you've been doing. Do you know how many towels you sell? Do you know how many, like, and then they had the rankings. It was called what, PPR?
Yeah, I remember the rankings.
Personal Production Report or whatever it's called. And so then, like, we're going to put you in sales. I'm like, no. And then I just pretty much got bullied. Like, oh, no, we're going to put you in sales. You start in sales tomorrow.
Yeah.
And Alex Juarez, who's actually one of my agents now in the office, was the general manager at the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's how my initial introduction into sales. That's how I came in.
That's funny. But, you know what you reminded me of Ronnie Coleman, of how he got into bodybuilding, was the exact same way. Free membership, bro.
Free membership.
That's how they got him.
There it is. But, of course, I'm not a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but, I mean, I sucked in sales in the beginning because once you start thinking about sales, like, okay, I got to get memberships and your closing percentage has to be 60%, your NMU has to be X, your personal training to CPT to NMU is 10%.
Yeah.
And I was struggling.
Yeah.
And because if I don't believe in something, or if I don't feel like I'm really going to help someone out, it's really hard for me to sell something.
Yeah.
So I struggled. And then eventually what one person told me, his name was actually Gil Alvarado. He was the assistant general manager at the time.
Yeah.
He said, maybe your initial closing isn't good. He's like, but look at your B-back percentage. Mm-hmm. So this was people who would leave that wouldn't get a membership, but then they would come back, and then they would sign up. He said, you're actually the highest in the entire district.
So your relationship building was good.
My relationship building was good. So I was able to connect really well with those people. And then for me, it's like, okay, I get to socialize. Hey, how you doing? How's your work? I would actually work out sometimes with the guests.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. And so then like, okay, how do we figure out how do you get from your B-back percentage to be higher, but same thing now, get your initial closing higher. Yeah. And so once I figured that out, that was a wrap. Yeah. I became the youngest general manager promoted at 24 Fitness. I was a couple of weeks before I turned 21. Jesus. However, I would have probably fired myself 10 times over.
If you go back and you remember what you were like.
Oh yeah. I mean, I wasn't a great leader. I wasn't even a great manager. I was just a great salesperson. Yeah. And so that was it. And I remember Curtis Harmon. I was in a few different locations. They called me the cleaner. So anytime I'd go to a location that underperformed, I would fix it, and then they would send you to a different location. Every 3 to 6 months, you were getting transferred. Yeah, yeah. I remember those days in 24 where it seemed like they were bouncing around general managers from location to location. Like how many locations you been at? Like, 35. Yeah, I worked over 20-something locations. Yeah, that's crazy. You know why they did that, right? No, I didn't. They wanted you to always have that energy. Once you get to a new location, it was that energy, that new.
It's like that new girlfriend energy, bro. Exactly. I'm gonna be my best self.
Yep. And then once after 3 to 6 months, it used to get stale.
Yeah.
And then let's send you somewhere else.
I'm comfortable with this girl. I need a new one.
Yep. So they said that was a tactic for them to keep production high.
Okay, that's a pretty good tactic now that I think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then from there, we're going to give you a bigger location. Back then, we didn't really have sports locations.
Yeah, it was all like small, active clubs.
And then they started building sport, and then it was a super sport.
Yeah.
But long story short, for me, it was competition. If I'm going to do a job, I want to be the best at it. Yeah. That's just who I am and what I do. I mean, maybe it could come from sports where it's very competitive. Yeah. If you sucked, you didn't play.
Right.
It's that simple. Yeah. You played left out.
Now it's like everybody gets a participation trophy.
I think that's complete horse shit, man, to be honest with you. But in sales, so I was like, okay, I got promoted. I did really well. And I remember a vivid conversation with Curtis Harmon, who was the regional vice president at the time. Yeah. And I was at Riverside because I remember going from Ontario to Riverside. Riverside was the last place in the district. Yeah. And within a couple of months, we were like, I don't remember exactly where, but we were in the top. So I told him, like, look what I'm doing. I deserve a sports club. Yeah. And he just told me straight, blunt truth.
What did
he say? He said, Wally, you're a great salesperson. You're just a horrible manager and leader. He said, because look at every location you go to. The minute you leave, the numbers drop.
Yeah. So it was you doing everything.
Yeah. He's like, you're the one that's going in there. You're the impact player. He's like, that's why I put you in these small locations, because you could impact it right away. Yeah. So he said, okay, so you do well. But he's like, are you coaching? Are you training? Are you developing your staff? Yeah. And he said, the best way for us to know that if you're a great leader and you deserve more responsibility is that you or your team is doing the work, not you. You still have to sell. Yeah. But who's doing majority of the sales? Right. So I remember that. And when I got promoted from Riverside to Monrovia, I was like, I'm never going to be called a horrible manager or leader again.
Yeah. So was that fired you up?
Oh, that fired me up. He said, show me. You want more? Yeah. You're going to have to, because bigger locations have more staff. Yeah. There's more key players. There's more higher goals. Right. You're not going to be able to do it yourself. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, at that time, I was probably 22. Yeah. And then I had to think back at it. I'm like, okay, I really wasn't coaching. I wasn't training. I was just going in there selling. And then I was like, look at me, guys. If I could do it, you could too. Yeah. But then, I mean, how are you teaching them? Are you showing them how to do the actual job? Right. I'm like, I wasn't doing anything like that.
You weren't training, developing?
Nothing. I wasn't not doing anything
You were just taking every single guest that came in and closing them all.
I used to tell people you couldn't close a door with the wind pushing behind you.
That was your coaching style back then?
I was like, well, you suck. I was like, what do you mean that people are coming in to get a membership? How the hell are you not getting them a membership? Yeah. They want to work out. Yeah. And you can't even get them to work out? You're horrible.
You made people cry, probably.
Yeah, I'm like, here's $1. Good. That's for your walkathon, because you were walking everybody.
Oh my God, bro.
So that's the type of leader I was back then. Because hey, if I could do it, you could too. Yeah. But eventually I realized, okay, it's gonna take a little bit more effort. Yeah. And that's one of the biggest things when it comes to leadership or you wanting to be successful. Can you bring a community with you? Can you impact more players? Right. And that's where I said, okay, I need to really help out and really take the time. And one of my favorite sayings that I tell everyone, go slow to go fast. Yeah. Take those, I've heard on the wall, short-term sacrifices for long-term gains.
Yeah, I've heard that saying many times before. What is your explanation of it to simplify it? Well, it's already a simple phrase, but what's your philosophy behind it?
Do the hard work once. Either you're gonna have those short-term sacrifices where you slow down, you might not accomplish your goals right away. Yeah. Because you are taking the time to building the foundation and everything. Yeah. And then eventually you see that the progression speeds up. Yeah. Versus you constantly hustling and you're trying to do the work yourself, and now you're transactional, because if you take yourself out of the equation, what happens? Everything crumbles. Right. Right. And so that's where it comes into play where, okay, let's develop more individuals. If I could have a bunch of minions doing the work, and they might not be at the level I'm at, but I'd rather have 5 people producing at a 60, 70% efficiency versus 1 at 100 and everyone else at 20%.
Yeah, and that's what's going to come along with longevity. I mean, one thing that I noticed a lot about high-performing salesmen or salespeople is every single one of them at one point burns out. because you're human. You have an energy reserve. You have, like we talked about getting old. You're going to get old one day. You're not going to be able to do those 20-hour days, and you're not going to be able eventually. And also, your reach is just you. If you get sick, your paycheck gets sick. If you get tired, your sales numbers get tired. But if you are training, developing a team that can maybe not replicate what you do, but get close to it. And then every once in a while you have your superstars that might even supersede what you did, and you benefit from all of them. That's where true freedom comes from, and that's where true success and impact comes from. Because, yeah, you can help one person, but what if you're, helping hundreds, thousands, a bunch of different people? And that's what I've seen you become very, very good at. So what you're talking about is a transition from player to coach, from being the main person to now training others the skills and the tactics that you have gained along in your journey, and you're giving it to others. And that's mentorship. We talk a lot about mentorship on our podcast because I feel it's one of the quickest ways for you to get to where you want to be. There's a bunch of people right now in the fitness industry or in the real estate industry that want to do and replicate what you did, but they don't know how to do it. So there are people that have done it. Wally, you've done it. So now people come to you, and that's interesting. I know you have a lot of people that maybe at one point, they were your bosses, but now they're working for you.
Yeah.
Like
that's happened a few times.
Yeah. And I see a lot of, people from the fitness industry now coming along and working with you, and they see you as a leader, as a mentor. So I really wanted to dive deep into your transition from the fitness industry into real estate. How was that?
Well, first, I got in again. It seems like I get into all these industries by accident.
Okay, so it's another accident.
So, I left 24-hour fitness just based on the direction the company was going. I just didn't see eye to eye.
Yeah. And they changed a lot. I remember there was a period of time at 24-hour fitness where it seemed like they were going through CEOs like, I don't know, they're like a deck of cards, they were changing CEOs, changing styles, changing managements, changing concepts, and they couldn't find like what it was that they wanted to do. They're still a hugely successful organization and company, but it's completely different from where the first guy, what's his name?
Mark Mastroff.
That dude is a genius, man.
He is a pioneer in the fitness industry.
Yeah.
Once he sold to an equity firm, Teddy Forsman, and then they sold, I think, 2 other times afterward. It went from a family-oriented type employment versus you're just another number and you're expendable. The minute you don't do anything that they don't agree with and you don't have a voice, you have to just be a robot. You're a yes man. You want me to do it? Yes, no problem. And that's why I did really. I was like, I'm not the type of person that's going to conform just like that. If I don't agree, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to let go of people because you don't think that they fit the demographic or because they're not clean cut. And there's a lot of things I disagreed with, so I decided it's time for me to part ways. And but then I ended up going to LA Fitness. I didn't like the culture there, to be honest.
I never knew you went to LA Fitness.
I was only there for 3-4 months, and I was like, okay, this sucks. I'm out. Peace.
Yeah. Oh,
I did really well personally in sales, but I'm like, okay, there's no 24 Fitness had structure.
Yeah.
They had a lot of structure. They taught you P&L management, back office, payroll. You learn how to be an operator.
Yeah, that's one thing I will say about 24-hour fitness working for them as well for all those years is that they had great tools to train and teach and develop, and they had a really good infrastructure.
Absolutely.
I understand, how when you're talking about a major corporation, the employees are always going to feel like a number because they're so removed from, the main decision makers. The main decision makers are in their corporate office. They don't come down to, the actual club. But their infrastructure was very, very well, and they had great, if you wanted to learn the fitness industry, you want to learn sales, you want to learn how to manage, they had, a great system to learn that.
I agree. And they did really well. But I ended up going back to 24-hour fitness for a little bit, and if German Garcia hears this, he's the one that actually got me out of the fitness industry into real estate, which was mortgages.
Oh, okay. So
you remember Jonah
first?
Hill?
Jonah Hill?
Not Jonah Hill, but Jonah, I forgot what his name, from The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Show me your paycheck, I quit my job right now.
Yes.
I pretty much did that.
Oh, okay.
They were making some stupid money.
Yeah.
And back then I was young. I was out there for the money. I wasn't out there for anything else.
Yeah.
I wanted the money so I could have the cars and I could have the watches. I could have all the materialistic things.
Right.
So they were showing me paychecks. I'm like, man, you guys are making more money in 1 month than I'm making in 6 months, sometimes a year.
Jesus Christ.
There was a Richard Houston. There was Chris and a few old school people.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I'm like, anyone could have a good month in sales. I knew that already. I'm like, anyone could have a good month in sales.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you show me that again. You have some consistency, and then I'll think about it. And then they came back 1 month again, and they showed me their paychecks. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, you couldn't pass it up.
I said, you come back next month like that, I'll quit on the spot.
Really?
And they came back and like, here, call the district manager, let him know. And his name was Rob Alexander.
The district manager?
District manager. He's like, call your district manager, let him know you quit.
Yeah. What club were you at that time?
I went back to Ontario as a general manager back then.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I went to so many different locations multiple times.
The Ontario Supersport?
No, it was the Active right off of Vineyard.
Oh, okay.
So I went there and ended up quitting on the spot, started doing mortgages, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
I made a lot of money. So I went to mortgages. There was more of just a refi boom. So it was a one niche product company.
Okay.
And so
that's all they did was refis.
Just refis. And it was for all you old school people out there, it was called an option arm loan, pick a payment.
Oh my God, yeah. Didn't that
crumble the entire economy? Yeah. Absolutely.
Isn't that what burst the bubble?
Man, it killed the bubble. It killed the entire economy.
Yeah.
So that
they were like variable loans.
Well, those are 4 options. So you had a minimum payment, interest only, 30-year fixed, and 15.
I remember those now. Yes,
but most people are just paying the minimum payment.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening is your loan balance was increasing every single month. So you went to the fully indexed rate.
So it was like flipped upside down and shit.
Oh yeah, and you went from like a teaser rate, and then once it hit the fully indexed rate, then now you're at your rate. You went from 1.9% to 7 or 8 overnight. Jesus. So your mortgage payment went from $1,500 to $6,000.
Yeah, it was like you can't pay it.
Yeah, and that's how. And then everyone's like, "Well, I got the loan I got the house with 0 down, no money in. I really refied the house 4 times, pulled out all the equity, bought the boats, bought the cars, bought the jewelry. I'm just gonna walk away from the house."
Yeah, it was like a cash grab.
100%
for everybody. I remember at that time, you had people like that weren't even working consistent jobs, buying like $500,000 homes and stuff, and then just
dead people were buying homes. Literally, dead people were buying homes.
Yeah. What's that one movie that they made with Christian
The Big
Bale?
Short?
Yeah, that's a great movie, by the way.
It's 100% realistic to the industry.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's pretty much my first initial introduction into real estate.
Damn, how the hell did you survive that then?
I didn't. I lost everything.
Oh, shit.
I went completely bankrupt. Not bankrupt, but I lost everything.
Yeah.
My credit was in the dumps. I moved back to my mom's house, sleeping on the couch.
Shit.
So I went from 24, making more money than I would make in probably 3, 4, 5 years at the gym.
Yeah.
In 1 year, then
to nothing.
When I say nothing, I didn't make a penny in a year and a half.
God dang.
Not 1 penny, because it was just one product.
Yeah.
And that's where I say earners are learners.
Yeah.
And because I didn't learn, I just learned one product. It was one niche. I didn't take the time to develop my skill set in the industry.
Yeah.
I went after the money. And that's why I say if you chase money, money runs.
Yeah.
It's 100%. And if you don't take the time to educate yourself and be a true professional,
right,
that industry is going to smack you in the face, and it's going to continue to smack you until you have no more and you're defeated.
Yeah.
Because short-term sacrifices is not going to help you out.
Right.
I mean, short-term gains, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So it went back home, my mom's house. So you got to imagine like how humbling that was. I was depressed. I was extremely depressed.
I can imagine.
I felt like a failure. My mindset was just in the gutters. And then on top of that, I had to go back and beg for my job back again at 24 Hour Fitness.
That must have really sucked having to go back.
Oh, yeah. And
after you left.
Didn't even give me my job back.
Really?
So I had to go through an interview process. HR had to, it took them almost like a month and a half to approve me to come back to the gym.
Yeah.
And then when I came back as a sales counselor.
No freaking way. They made you prove yourself all over again?
Yeah. So Curtis Harmon's like, hey, just come back in here. He's like, we'll fast track you.
Yeah.
He's like, but HR is not going to approve, because back then that's when they transitioned from general manager to club manager.
I see. Yeah, that was. I remember they did some weird transition where like even salespeople weren't really making commission anymore. Or something. It was like just hourly and like a small little percentage, but it was very different. I remember that.
Oh yeah. So I mean, I went back and then I went like, okay, what location? You could go to any location you want. And I think Glendora was grand opening, and Cress Worley was like, hey, come to my location.
Yeah.
And then there was James Wright, that was the or club manager at Arcadia. Mm-hmm. And he's like, no, Daddy, you got to come here, Daddy. You got to come work with me. Yeah. And then I like James, his personality. So I said, okay, I'm going to go work at Arcadia.
Yeah.
And I went there, and everyone thought I was new when I first came back. And I remember we were across the street from the construction site.
Yeah, it's a railroad now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just went in there and annihilated freaking sales, because you don't have to worry about anything, just sell.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I worked at Arcadia as well for like 4 years. I was a sales manager there. And when I went there, I think you had left maybe like a year or so before I got there. And, you know, the numbers from the previous year affect the sales target. Yeah. I was like, shit, how much do we have to sell? Because you would sell a shitload, and it actually made that club like one of the most profitable clubs in the company. In the company. Yeah. Yeah. So I remember I was like, fuck, these giant budgets. I'm like, who the fuck did this? Like Wally. All right.
Yeah, we annihilated those goals. Yeah. That's where I broke every single company record. Yeah. Out of Arcadia.
That's crazy.
As a sales counselor, I was making $25,000-$30,000 a month.
Jesus Christ.
And that's unheard of in the gym industry as a sales counselor. Yeah. But like, I broke the company record in total gross and EFT and personal training and NMS. Yeah. And then that's when they sent me to Whittier, old Whittier.
Oh shit!
And not even as a club manager, as a membership manager.
Really?
And I was there for like 3 or 4 months.
That's a tiny little gym.
Yeah.
Why would they go from Arcadia to Whittier?
Again, I guess that's HR's punishment to me.
Oh, okay. They're like, you try to leave.
Mm-hmm. And then from there, when they promoted me to a club manager, they sent me all the way to Cathedral City.
Oh my God.
Palm Springs.
That's far as shit.
It was probably the worst drive ever. Yeah. Like, I hated driving there, but it was the easiest location. I would hit goal 10 days into the month.
You're like chilling now.
Yeah. And then back then, like, and Curtis said, if you go in, if you hit goal, your salary, so you could leave whenever. So I was leaving by 11 or 12 o'clock in the day.
Yeah.
And then he had to come. He's like, hey, you got to at least work 6 hours.
You're like, you come in, make a couple of sales, and then bounce.
Yeah.
That's exactly. Funny.
But I mean, again, so they had another transition. That's where I was at 24 Hour Fitness. And then the last location I was at was Lakewood. I was the club manager there and the district sales manager.
Yeah, that's where I met you, personally met you. I had heard your name and I had met your brothers before then. But when I met you, you were at that club as the GM.
Yeah. And again, we broke the company record. We had the highest dues tap in the entire company. Mm-hmm. And so we were doing really, really well. But just that's when I've seen the company, the direction. I can't. I was like, there's no way that I could do this job because I do have a lot of integrity. And if there's certain things that when you're rating players and you're putting them well-placed, promotable, or at risk, and a lot of times the at risk wasn't because your performance. Yeah. It's if they liked you or not. Right. Or if you were branded or not. Yeah. And I'm like, man, if they're playing God with... If we're playing God with people under me, I'm sure they're doing the same with me and above. Yeah. And so I just walked into work one day and I just said, you know what? I was on a conference call and just didn't like
what you were hearing.
Yeah. And I said, okay.
I remember those conference calls. I'll be like, the hell are they talking about?
Yeah. That's when I was like, my days are done. Yeah. I literally walked out, let the staff know I'm done, and I walked out. Yeah. That was it.
Dang.
And right there, I didn't know 2-week notice. I was like, I do not want to come. I want to burn this bridge. I don't want to have a way coming back.
Yeah, you already had done it once.
Yeah. So I left and when I quit 24 Hour Fitness, I still remember till this day. Mm-hmm. I had $5,000 in my account only.
That was it?
That was it.
So you burned the bridge, $5,000 in your account. It was sink or swim.
It wasn't even sink or swim. I was like, I'm done. I know who I am as a person. Yeah. And I disagree. And I'm not going to do something that I disagree with, regardless what's going to put me, or financially where it's going to put me at.
I see.
So then I was at home for a couple of weeks, going bored, and I think you know me. I can't sit at home just do nothing. That's just not who I am. Yeah. So I was like, what am I going to do? And I still remember his name was Danny Gomes. He was actually a personal trainer with me at City of Industry, the old one. And so he posted something, and I was like, oh, crap, he's in real estate.
Yeah, he was with Century 21, was it?
It was Century 21, then he moved to Remax.
Remax, that's what I remember.
So then I gave him a call, and he's like, hey, come interview. So I interviewed with him. I talked to him. He's like, yeah, let's do this. Yeah. So I got into real estate, And then I remember we sat down on the table like, well, how many transactions you got to do? And so I remember at 24 Hour Fitness, my salary was 6 figures.
Yeah.
Plus the bonuses and everything. I'm like, well, I need to make at least 24 deals, which is about over 200,000. I'm like, that's what I need to make because that's what I was making at the gym.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, that's impossible.
He told you that?
Straight out. He's like, 24. He's like, because you got to think about in real estate, 1% do more than 20 transactions a year.
Dang, say that again. 1% do how much?
More than 20 transactions a year.
Okay. So it's like the top people that actually produce that much.
I ended up doing 24 that first year. And that back then there was the social media. There wasn't the Zillow Flex.
Yeah.
You went out there and you hunted and you got your business.
Yeah. That's crazy. Were you like door knocking? Were you calling?
No, I don't door knock.
What were you doing to get your sales?
Honestly, that's when Facebook and Messenger, I was sliding people's DMs before I was even a thing. So I was sliding into people's DMs on Facebook.
Yeah.
And then I was doing open houses. So it was just,
okay.
I worked 6 months straight without a day off.
Dang. And
then I just quickly built my business. But I understood, coming from the gym industry, that I wasn't just going to be a realtor.
Yeah.
This is my business. It's 1099.
Yeah.
So one of the most important things for me, like, okay, I'm really going to learn this industry. And Gina Assad, who was the office manager there at the time, I was like, okay, I want to learn the contracts inside and out. And I would meet with her every Wednesday for about 2 months. And I learned the contracts from the front page to the last page. Like I knew the contracts, the sections inside and out. Yeah. And then I got certified in probate and in short sales. So I learned the industry. I'm like, I'm not going to go back to like how it was before.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to learn this industry because this is what I want to do.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a huge mindset, a different mindset than someone that goes into something and they just want to earn some money. You know, they're like, I just want to make the sale. I don't care about the contracts. I don't care about that. Like, I'm just going to make the deal and then bounce.
I'll tell you right now, because most people chase money.
Yeah.
And I get it. I mean, I did the same thing when I was younger.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up extremely poor. Poor was like rich to us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my family, we didn't, my father passed away, and it's not a sob story, but.
How old were you when your father passed away, by the way?
I was 10. I was in summer of my 6th grade, or 12.
And you 11. Have, so it's 4 of you, right?
5. So.
Well, it's your sister. Four boys.
Yeah, 3, there's 4 boys, 1 girl.
Yeah.
Oh, 1 sister, yeah. So, I mean, I learned from a young age you had to hustle because back then it wasn't a luxury. It wasn't even an option. Yeah. It was like if you didn't, the mortgage wasn't paid. You didn't, there was no electricity. You didn't, there's no food.
Yeah, there's major repercussions to not doing it.
So my older brother, myself, and my mom, that's what we had to do. We had to hustle and work. Yeah. There was no option. And when we worked, we didn't keep a penny. It all went to my mom. Yeah. That was this, and you didn't think about it. So when you don't have things and you start getting older, the first thing you do, it's human nature. Right. I want all the things I couldn't grow up with. Yeah. And it could be psychological too, because when you're younger, you didn't think you were good enough. Yeah. You're like, okay, God does not like us. We're not meant to have these nice things. We're meant to be poor. Yeah. And so then it starts messing with you. And then when you finally get a taste of money, like I'm going to get the shoes. I was a sneakerhead. Yeah. The shoes, the cars, the clothes, the watches. And if you look at me now. Yeah. Man, I have like the same black tee. I have I think like 7 of them, the same pants. Like, I don't care about clothes because materialistic things. The only thing I do care about are cars and watches.
I was gonna say that you still got that Lambo, and I see the freaking the Mercedes G-Wagon out there.
So the cars and stuff, but I didn't get that until later on in my career. Yeah. So those things were like later after I felt like I was secure enough. Yeah. But when you're chasing materialism, you're gonna fail because that why, that push, that motivation isn't there. Yeah. You want those things, and then you get those things, and what happens? And then you're flashy. And most of the time, guys are doing it for what? Girls. Or they want to say, hey, it's status. Yeah. Or girls do it for whatever reasons to maybe compete with others. I don't know the mindset of everyone else, but you're doing it for status. You're not doing it because you want to have actually a great life. Right, right. And so when you're chasing materialism, it's short-lived. Yeah. And so for me, it's like, no, this is a career. I need to build my career. So I became a student for the first year. And then I broke down my income. Okay, I'm a business owner because when you jump into real estate, you're 1099. You're an independent contractor. Right. So I'm like, okay, I need to build my business. What do I need to do? So the first thing I said, okay, I need to figure out my operations, my system, my process, my procedures. Yeah. What am I going to do? Why am I going to do it? How am I going to do it? Yeah. And so I took the time. So I did that and I developed that skill. And I figured, okay, what do I need to do? And then when I was making the money, it wasn't, okay, $1 made is $1 spent.
Right.
Let me break down my income, because I still remember it's some stupid number where it's over 70% of real estate agents owe back taxes.
Yeah, taxes is a whole nother ballpark.
And then most agents don't even have a corporation, because now they're self-employment and self-employed. Now they're paying an additional 15% self-employment tax.
I didn't even know there was a self-employment tax.
Yeah, there is. I mean, I had to learn all this stuff.
Yeah, I just give all my stuff to my, tax person, and they just do their thing.
I mean, I'll tell you this right now. The culture right now, everyone wants everything easy.
Yeah.
And the entitlement is higher than I've ever seen. Most people are lazy. Probably a lot of your listeners are not going to like it, but most people are lazy. Most people don't take the time to work. They don't want to work hard.
Yeah.
They want everything given to them.
Right.
Okay. And then they always have to discredit a person that's successful.
Yeah.
And they want to give an excuse, the reason why they're successful. Well, guess what, bitch? If you want stuff, you have to work your ass off.
Yeah.
There's nothing that's going to be given to you.
Right.
So you have to take the time. You have to work hard. You have to be disciplined. You have to stay consistent. And you're going to continue to work, and you're going to fail. I can't tell you how many times I've struggled and I failed and I made mistakes. And till this day, till this month, I've made some big mistakes, or I made decisions.
Yeah.
And guess what? Those decisions have ramifications.
Right. Cause and effect.
That's it.
Everything.
And then you learn. So either you're going to learn from it, or you're going to make an excuse and you're going to blame others.
Yeah.
And one of the best things I tell them, a lot of my agents are going to tell you, like, oh, I already know what I was going to say. Look in the mirror, not the window. You look at yourself first.
Yeah.
Don't look at the environment outside and determine, oh, that's the reason why I didn't succeed.
Yeah. Internal. Look internal first. And my audience are all people that are looking to accomplish a goal, whether it's in real estate or in a different chosen field. But the mindset of a winner and a loser is the same regardless of where you're at. There's winning real estate agents and there's losing real estate agents. There's winning singer-songwriters, and then there's losers. Everything in the world is a mindset. It's all internal, like you said. So I really want to touch into your thought process and your philosophy on, what is the difference between a winner and a loser?
One is going to be your mindset. The second is going to be the perseverance and discipline.
I see.
Because a loser will make excuses really quick.
Mm-hmm.
They'll give up. A winner will understand that there's going to be trials, tribulations, there's going to be challenges, and then there's going to be opportunities. And am I going to learn? And I have a goal. I have a specific goal that I'm trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
And I know it's going to take a journey. So are you the captain of your ship? Are you going to be a sail, or are you going to be an anchor? Are you going to push your life forward, or are you going to drag yourself through life?
Yeah.
And so you have to understand that there is going to be a journey. It's not going to be easy, because if it was easy, everyone would do it.
Yeah.
But most successful people, if you look at Jeff Bezos, you look at Elon Musk, you look at Bill Gates, you look at all these successful people, they see all the money that they have, but you didn't see them in their garages working behind the scenes for years and years and years and years before they started seeing some success.
Right.
And so if you want to be successful, you have to understand there is going to be a journey. And that's why I said there's perseverance and discipline.
Yeah.
There's consistency. Regardless of what happens, your mindset has to be there. Because what is your mindset? It's a set of attitudes.
Yeah.
Set of attitude and beliefs.
Yeah. And
so, but that's where it comes back into why are you doing it? Is it for the right reasons or the wrong ones?
Yeah.
Because if you're doing it for a car, and when shit gets tough, you're going to say, fuck the car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Straight out. Like, it's not worth it.
Bro, you're closing me right now.
Well, I mean, my mindset shifted. If you knew me, I used to party, I used to go crazy, man. I've always worked hard.
I know, bro. I remember.
Oh, yeah. I used to work. I mean, I've always worked hard, and I partied harder.
Yeah.
Like, and when I partied, I used to party.
Yeah.
Like, it was still like
You still got the same dance moves, bro?
Oh, I still have them, man. But there's a lot more popping and like crunching, and if I drop it, I don't know if I'll come back up. But I understood back then, just from my upbringing, that you have to work hard to get what you want in life.
Yeah.
And so my mind really shifted when I got into real estate, because I said, what do I want for my life? Yeah. And this is before I met my wife and I had my daughter. Yeah. I knew what I wanted for my life.
Yeah.
And it changed a little. And then I said, okay, when I got married and I had a daughter, but when I got married, it was like, okay, it's not just about me.
Yeah.
And then when you have an organization that is growing, as a leader, you have to be selfless.
Yeah.
Because it's not about me. Any decision I make, it impacts everyone.
Yeah.
From my staff, from my family, from my agents, from my loan officers, everybody.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got to think people like, oh, he's lucky. There's no luck in this.
Yeah.
It was a lot of hard work, but also
more money, more problems, bro.
Biggie Smalls, bro. But if you look at it, every decision you make, so you got to understand it's 1,000-pound boulder on your chest every single day.
Yeah.
Because you understand every decision I make is going to impact everyone in my organization.
Yeah. You take on all that responsibility.
And then you take on the responsibility. Your job is to impact their lives as well.
Right.
And when you become a servant and you start working really hard and you start helping other people grow as well, then guess what? In turn, they want you to grow as well. Yeah. You take care of them, they take care of you.
Yeah, I noticed that from your organization. Everybody is like, they look up to you. They, they respect you, and they listen. You know,
I mean, I'll say a big majority of them do. Some of them don't, because I keep it real. Either you love me or you hate me. Yeah, it's just. I mean, I don't sugarcoat anything. Yeah, I'm sure most people could see my style. I'm going to tell you how it is, but I genuinely care about everyone's success. Yeah, and if you're not doing it, I'm going to say, Annabelle, you're not doing it. You're just being lazy. Yeah, go get a job. You're not meant for this. Yeah. Or I'll tell you, like, you didn't show up. You're not making your calls. You're not prospecting. You're not doing open houses. You're not following up. Yeah. Like, how you expect to make money. Yeah. Or like, why are you being stupid? You just made one paycheck and you made 10 grand. And now you go buy yourself a BMW. That was stupid. Yeah. And I'll tell them that. And they're like, oh, crap. So a lot of times people don't like it because people don't like being pushed. Yeah. And they don't like being challenged. Are you coachable or not? Yeah. Yeah. It was like, when your boss at 24 Hour Fitness told you you're a horrible manager, you know, you can either crumble and be like, or you can listen and be like, okay, let me change that, you know, let me prove you wrong. And that's the attitude and mindset that I see most winners have. You know, they want to prove themselves and they want to get better. They want to be the best at what they do. And I see you as that person, you know. So what are your goals now? What's in the future for Wally Elsherif? Well, and your organization, obviously. We're going to grow. Like, I wasn't really recruiting. Yeah. But the last 6 months, I made it a big push to recruit. And the goal, we're a subscription model-based real estate company. Really? Which means, like, kind of like the gym, Netflix, you pay a monthly fee. Yeah. Every time I'm trying to do something, I always want to replicate the gym's membership concept because I'm like, damn, that's like freedom right there. If you get a bunch of people paying a subscription to something, like, you're free. It's not even about the freedom, honestly. For me, it's more like, how do you build something that's more sustainable? Yeah. And how is it a win-win for everybody? Explain this concept. In the industry, you have a split. And depending what the broker or the office managers closes you on. Yeah. Like, okay, if you're a new agent, you're 50% a split. Yeah. The brokers get 50, you get 50. Yeah. Or 60, 40, 70, 30, whatever it is. For me, it's like, okay, because it's human nature. I want to keep my money. Yeah. And as a business, it makes sense. I have to make money to continue to keep the doors open. Yeah. So how do you have the best of both worlds? Exactly. So you build your dues base. Huh. So you give people their 100% commission. They pay a monthly fee. I see. And then the more agents that you bring on board, the higher your dues tap increases. I see. So now as a business, your business is what? Predictable. Yeah. So the P&L management. So you have to be a business owner and you have to be business savvy to understand how P&Ls work. Yeah. For people that don't know what a P&L, can you explain that real quick? Profit and loss, payables and receivables. How much money are you getting versus the bottom line? After everything is paid for, how much money did you make? Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah, because people are like, I made this much money. I'm like, no, you didn't. There's operational expenses. Yeah. There's a lot of different things. And then your ROI, a dollar made isn't a dollar spent, or a dollar spent and a dollar made isn't a dollar as a profit because you have overhead. Right. So are you a one-time multiplier, 2, 3, 4 times? Like how much money, if I spent $1, how much do I have to make to make that dollar be worthwhile? Right. And in real estate, it's roughly about $2 to $3. Oh, wow. So if everyone wants to know that, I'll teach a business class later on. Yeah. But so for me, it's okay. We're going to coach, train, develop agents to be business owners in real estate. Yeah. Not to be realtors. I see. Because it doesn't matter if you're a realtor. If you're a great business owner and you're in real estate, then you're going to understand the fundamentals of business. And now you're going to grow your business because real estate is transactional. Yeah. Now, how do you make it from transactional to passive? You have to build an organization. Right. So if you build an organization, you have staff, you have your operations, you have your production, you have your marketing, and then you have your assistants, your buyer's agents. Now you could get away.
Yeah.
Now you could actually go out there and live life a little bit while you become the rainmaker, because you're providing the leads, you're providing the systems, the coaching, and now you're also helping others grow.
Yeah.
And so for me, the organization is to get it. The goal is within the next 3 years to be over 1,000 agents.
Wow.
To have at least 10 locations, and within the 5 years to get over 10,000 agents.
That's amazing, man.
And the dues base to have the dues base over $500,000 a month.
Yeah, I definitely believe you're going to accomplish that. Yeah. And everybody out there, if you're looking to maybe change your career and get into any type of business, real estate, make sure you reach out to Wally here. Where can people contact you?
I'll give my cell phone number. I don't care. 714-813-5360.
Yeah.
Or you could reach at me on social media, Wally Elsherif.
Awesome, man. Well, I really want to thank you, for sharing your time, your wisdom, your insight, your story today. I personally gained a lot of information that I'm going to apply in my business as well. And I'm sure people that listen to this episode are going to gain a lot of insight and wisdom and apply it in their life, So I know you got to get out of here. You got a showing, right?
Yeah, I still work.
You're still working, still grinding.
Always. Yeah. ABC, always be closing.
Leading the front,
I'll say this. We'll leave it with this. Leaders lead.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I'm too good to still sell.
Yeah.
With listings or buyers. I'll still do it. I love sales now.
Yeah.
But also, for people to rally behind you, they have to believe in their leader.
Yeah. Yeah. That you can still do it.
Yep.
That's awesome. Well, we'll leave it at that. Thanks again, brother.
Thank you.
Guys, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and we'll see you guys next time.